welcome to this edition of Women in AI, Women in AI Summit. I'm so happy to meet you on this channel. My name is Verdiguel. I'm an artificial intelligence enthusiast and ambassador in Mexico at Women in AI. I'm really proud of being the leader of this organization in this beautiful country. Women in AI Mexico works on three main verticals, such as evangelization, which means teaching and spreading the meaning of AI in the sectors in which the population or industries are unaware of it, or they don't practice it at all. This is something for our society that we are working on. Another one is education, teaching the valuable information and skills needed to face the 4-point industry area and contributing to develop STEAM skills in Mexico as well. And the most important for us as a community, diversity and inclusion. As a community of women in AI that promotes inclusion and diversity, working to contribute to gender gap and female representation in the field. Mainly, Women in AI Mexico works towards inclusion and diversity, ethics, human-centered, and democratization in our country. We contribute by leading national and international initiatives to help women navigate this area. Thanks to Women in AI Global and Women in AI Local for making this space possible and for allowing us to talk about what Latin America is doing. I can be more proud of introducing you this lineup of experts today and sharing insights about the region. It's an honor to be here sharing this session with all you guys. First, we have a great expert from Chile, José. Hello, José.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
He's advisor. Jose is advisor at the future team of Ministry of Science, Technology, Knowledge, and Innovation in charge of the AI National Policy. He's an industrial engineer. He's also a professor at the School of Engineering of Pontificia Universidad Católica of Chile, and he previously worked as an advisor at the Ministry of Economy as well. Well, thank you very much, Jose, for being here today. And from Argentina, Denise Ciraudo. This amazing woman is secretary in the General Prosecutor's Office in the city of Buenos Aires, professor and coordinator of the postgraduate degree in Law 4.0 of Austria University and professor at the School of Law of the University of Buenos Aires. Postgraduate in Artificial Intelligence and Law, project manager and coordinator of the Innovation Lab and Innovation and Artificial Intelligence Lab in Spanish EA Lab. Thank you, Denise, for being here today.
Hello, Susan. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much.
And finally, from Mexico, Omar Costilla-Reyes. He's a postdoctoral research at the Institute of Medical and Engineering Sciences at MIT. His research focuses on artificial intelligence and digital health. Omar is founder and president of the Artificial Intelligence Latin America Summit at MIT. The goal of this summit is to incentivize leaders of the Latin America region in government, industry, and academia to invest and develop artificial intelligence for the social benefit. Thanks to everyone for being here, and I want to start to saying some data from Latin America ecosystem. According to the Global AI Agenda for Latin America by MIT Technology Insights, almost 80% of large Latin America businesses are using artificial intelligence. At the same time, future AI investments will target sales and marketing and logistics and supply chains over half of the respondents, 55%. Is it increasing the numbers of companies that are using artificial intelligence across Latin America? However, on the other hand, as emerging markets, emerging economies, we are currently facing some challenges such as inequality, lack of data, skill gaps, infrastructure, research, and so on. Some countries such as Mexico, Chile, Argentina have worked on developing national strategies for policies to apply artificial intelligence. Within this is my third question for our experts of today, which are the most important challenge and opportunities for Latin America to face the artificial intelligence area?
Since we are in a woman AI, maybe Denise can start.
Okay, yes, I can start. That would be great. Thank you very much, Susan, for your presentation. Thank you, all of you, Jose and Omar. It's a pleasure to share this panel with you. And thank you, of course, very much to all of the organizers of the Women in AA for this awesome event that we are attending to. It's great to have this space to share this type of conversation here in Latin America. Well, just to put a bit of background and to share with you this information, in case you don't know, I'm from the Artificial Intelligence and Innovation Lab of the University of Buenos Aires, as Susan said. And the lab is a space for research on emerging technologies and law, and for the practical application and implementation of artificial intelligence solutions, mainly in public organizations. So we go to the public sector. And we research and we develop. So we do this at the same time with an interdisciplinary team of active members that goes from lawyers, psychologists, economists, data scientists, IT developers, of course, and everything. So, well, of course, if you need more information, you can just ask me and I will contact you later. It will be really, I will be pleased to give you more information in case you need it. But, well, regarding this question that Susan asked, of course, I think that there are a lot of challenges. But well, time is limited, so I will just mention and make focus on 3 of them that I think that are like one of the more concerning issues that we have in Latin America throughout at least my experience and our experience in the lab. The first of all is the use of artificial intelligence in the public sector. In order to incorporate artificial intelligence at all areas of government and to see artificial intelligence systems as an ally to the state and not just an enemy of the state. But of course, here I'm not referring to any kind of artificial intelligence because we are speaking about the public sector. So I think that there are some main characteristics that this artificial intelligence should meet. It should be inclusive, transparent, traceable, auditable, and of course it has to not include or replicate human basics. Of course, this is like central. Well, and all this ties into an even greater challenge that I think we can mention as number 2, that it could be to create useful regulations on the use of artificial intelligence regarding liability issues, principles, and also ethics of artificial intelligence in Latin America. And well, the third big challenge that I want to mention or share with you, well, has to do with education. Of course, Susan said something before about it, but including artificial intelligence concepts from school, but also in college or in university programs. I think that that's crucial. It's really important since, of course, we are going through fourth industrial revolution. Our lives are facing this revolution that we're using a lot of technologies, and artificial intelligence is universal to almost all disciplines. So I think this is like something really important to include in Latin America programs, school programs, and university programs. And just to finish, of course, we have a little time, so I don't wanna speak just myself. So, well, but regarding the opportunities, we have already seen, I think that we all have already seen that artificial intelligence is an opportunity itself and serves to improve almost any area, can reduce a lot of bureaucracy, and can help us reach faster and more accurate results. So, well, from medicine to environmental care, and also going through public services such as justice, among many, many others. I think it's a great opportunity to all of it, the areas of government in general. Who's joining me now, Jose or Omar?
Maybe I can jump in. Well,
perfect.
Who's next?
First, thank you again, Susan, for the invitation and for Women in AI to organize this event. I'm thrilled to be here. And I want to share 3 ideas, and I will mix some opportunities and challenges, because we could be talking an hours about challenges and opportunities. But I want to choose three specific ideas. Over the last year that we've been developing our AI policy, we have faced a lot of different things that we have changed plans a lot of times, and we are hopefully reaching the end of the process in this couple of months to launch our AI policy here in Chile. And we have seen some things that I think it would be helpful to share. The first thing is, how can Latin America become not only consumers of technology, and how we can become producers of technology? And I think that's a big challenge, and at the same time a big opportunity. I think how we face the different gaps we have in different areas, like education, like lack of data, lack of regulation, and many other challenges, at the same time can open opportunities of new applications that maybe developed countries have not faced or have not seen. So I think there's a big challenge there, but at the same time a big opportunity. A second thing that I want to share is about data. A lot of time the discussion around data is around personal data and privacy, and we have a lot of discussion over there. But a lot of times we forget that there's a lot of data that's not related with people, and we have large opportunities related to that data. And here in Chile, we have focused part of our strategy on analyzing what makes our country unique, and where we can foster these unique features to enable some competitive advantages. And for example, we have a very unique characteristic, is that Chile is a natural laboratory for astronomy. Our Atacama Desert will hold like around 70% of all the data that is produced in the world, and more than 90% in the southern hemisphere. And that's huge amount of data. And some could think, okay, it's astronomical data. What can we do with that apart from science? But many of the things that you do with data, you can easily transfer to other areas. For example, an easy example is that in analyzing images from the Hubble, some algorithms were developed, and then they were used for detect cancer in images, the same algorithm that were developed for the Hubble. And so we have a lot of similarities, and we could use that kind of data sources that are different and have a lot of less issues with privacy and some other things. And we got tap into it to detect unique opportunities that are very unique here in Latin America. And I think we should look how we can take advantages of these unique features. And I'm sure that every country in Latin America has its unique features that can make advantage of. And the third thing I want to say is, it's a big challenge, and again, and a big opportunity also. It's about how we work with ethics and how we work with regulation. We've seen that all this discussion have been very centered in Europe and the States mostly. There are a couple of publications that if you analyze where the principles, ethical principles of AI, that there are many around the world, are mostly written in Europe, or organization or international organization that most of their members are European or in the US. So I think there's a big challenge in that Latin America has to be part of this conversation, and has to be part from the unique features that are in each of our countries. I think that's something that we talked about at MIT in the event Omar organized at January. That's something that's been recognized in the last UNESCO ethical principles that has been discussing this year, that not only Latin America, but also the Caribbean, Africa, Middle Asia, has to participate more actively of this discussion, and that's a challenge. But at the same time, we can incorporate some unique things of our countries into that discussion, and that's an opportunity. And for example, here in Chile, we've been developing our AI policy with a very broad and open participation process, something very unique if you check all the methodologies on how the different strategies have been made. And we've been hosting discussions that anyone could participate. They just have to inform us that they will participate, and then send the information to us since March until last Sunday. And we had around 2,000 people discussing about AI from every very different areas, very different ages, and it was amazing. And I think that those kind of initiatives could help very much on how AI discussion will be developed in the future.
Yeah, so thank you,
Yes.
Susan, for the invitation. So this event is, for women, and I'm flattered to be here in a Women in AI event. So this is a unique opportunity. I'm very honored to be here. So thank you for the invitation. And so as you know, we organized an event, early this year on AI in Latin America. And the whole reason behind this event was that we saw that the region is always very slow to adopt, new technology. And, I'm Mexican living in the United States. I'm used now to the system. I live here. My life is in here, so I adjust to here, and I have the benefits of living in this country, and taking advantage of the academic environment of MIT. But so I grew up in Mexico. I'm Mexican. I grew up in a very small city called Toluca. We just, when I look back and when I go visit there in Christmas to see my family, I just, I worry that the systems would take, some time to reach there, to be with us, to adopt us, and because this technology is very revolutionary, and is, it's changing everything, like from law to education to government. So it's fundamental that we understand in Latin America what the systems are capable of. And also that it's important that our society needs to just, adopt this as soon as possible to just, train our next generation of AI scientists, and just, to grow our strategies within the country. Because when technology, in regards to technology, our continent seems to import everything from China, from the United States. So, I think it is now time to grow our own strategies, our own workforce for the benefit of the Latin American people, So the event that we organized in January brought for the first time all these stakeholders. We brought people from government, from academia, from industry, from all the region. Like we didn't have any interest. Sometimes these events, kind of like conferences, somebody organizes and whoever organizes has a say. So we just knock the door, every country, say who wants to come, who is doing great things, who is what's happening. So, we managed to bring all these stakeholders, and it was an amazing event. We have the YouTube videos for those of you that missed the event or you didn't know about this. So I'll just put in the chat when we finish. But, so some of the learning experiences that we had is that, obviously that economies are very different in Latin America, right? So we have big economies like Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, and then, you have other emerging societies, right? But I think that in something like AI, you cannot be just, working on your own. I mean, it's kind of silly, just working by yourself or things like that. And the reason, we took the time, we took almost a year to organize this event because, having a multi-country, multi-stakeholder in this kind of topics is super important, because we believe that's the only way the region can actually, compete at the international level with Europe, with China. So, we brought the key players and they met each other. And for us, those kind of, connections are very important. And on top of that, when you think about AI compared to other, technology-based solutions or any other invention like autonomous cars, so for example, if I want to be an autonomous AI engineer, I have to work for an autonomous car company. But with AI, you just have to buy a laptop, get an internet connection, you can get MOOCs online, learn about AI. So I think we need to facilitate. Somebody like José needs to really put an emphasis that governments need to adapt these technologies, at the very early level, like pre-primary level. So, kids get, used to this thing early on. They get this computational thinking early on that will be very beneficial when they grow up. Because as I said, this is something very easy that we can implement with a laptop, right? And teaching materials are online by so many levels. So education is important. Multi-state players there are also important. And, so we need to just, make people aware. Awareness is the first step, because artificial intelligence for us, we have a clear understanding of what it is. But when you say something like this for somebody that is working on the market, or like small market in Mexico, in Toluca, where I'm from, they were like, what are you talking about, right? So, these kind of things are the first steps, awareness, and they show what is possible with this technology, because also people tend to exaggerate. But once we have those key elements, I think the rest should be good to go for us to be competitive and to be able to put something out there that competes with the high economies of the world.
Thank you very much, Jose. Thank you very much, Denise. Thank you very much, Omar. I would add that from my perspective, a challenge in the region is limit voice participation in the development of global AI governance and ethic frameworks. And I think that this is something that Latin America should work each other. I mean, I know that we are different countries, but we are the same region. So I think that we are working for the same purpose. So I think that we can be strong if we join forces each other, and because really we need to implement AI governance and ethical frameworks to thrive in this area. So if my next question, as a global community, we thrive for bringing all minds together. So meaning we do welcome and appreciate everyone. We also are raising the voice to achieve gender equality in the field. As I mentioned it before, one of our core values is diversity and inclusion. So I would like to know how Latin America is navigating this aspect to develop AI governance frameworks, ethical principles that are inclusive, to contribute to prosperity and justice in all the regions that we are for our society, such as women, children, vulnerable groups, even indigenous communities. So my next question is, which is actually a step to reach a diversity and inclusive AI ecosystem in the...
Yeah, I can say a few, I won't take it very long, but everything I have to say about this topic is that, at MIT, we are very diverse. It is a very international community here. I'm very proud of, the people that joins this institute. They're coming from all over the place, from everywhere, and everyone is treated equally, right? But that's hard to find in places like Latin America. But for example, a clear example that I see is more diverse and more inclusive is education, at least in Mexico. I've seen that Mexico tries to, preserve the cultures, like indigenous cultures, in terms of that they produce educational books for them in their own language. So, use those channels for AI, because AI is the next, technology that everybody needs to know. So use that same framework that you have already in the educational system, at least in Mexico. I don't know what Denise has to say in Argentina or Jose in Chile, but use those same channels to just, teach AI at the same importance, because it's a very important area to have.
I want to share some very little idea because of the time.
Do it.
I really think that how we build our ethical frameworks and our regulation and around AI should be with very open processes and hopefully bottom-up processes. I think we've been having an amazing experience. Oh, it's hard, but at the same time, it's very nice to see how people engage into discussing AI. And at the same time, if we have this education challenge on AI, discussing AI is also learning about AI. So we've been seeing how people, when it's discussing the policy, you mix people who knows very much about AI and other people who just is interested into it. And when they discuss, they all learn from each other, and they are not only building a policy that will identify them all, but at the same time they are building a policy that helps them learn about the technology. So we should think of AI and all the emergent technologies that are around AI also a socio-technical system, and we build on those socio-technical systems, constructing them between everyone and hopefully from a bottom-up perspective.
Well, and sorry, I think that you just said everything, but just to add to what you are saying, I think that one key step is also to start doing things, to start applying artificial intelligence. I know that in Latin America, everything is more difficult, as you said before, but well, we have fewer resources, less progress regarding emerging technologies, and many of our countries are still currently facing digitalization processes, but in their early stages. So the feeling is that the use of artificial intelligence is too far away for us, but we also have a positive side. I think that we use creativity and that need to find a way to make things work despite the adversity, of course, of the context and the environment we live in. So, well, according to my experience, at least any proof of concept, any development using artificial intelligence, no matter how small it can be, serves not only to improve an organization or a special area of government, but it can also work as an example for the rest of countries in similar organizations in the region too. So I think that can work too.
Well, we are almost out of time. 3 minutes left. There are a question. I'm not sure who wants to answer it. What initiatives exist right now to link people interested on pushing the development of AI in our region? Can you share info about them, links, something like that?
I think that Omar initiative it's a good place to start. I can share one initiative that was born here in Chile. That's called AI Latam. That's a network that's being created all around the Latin America. So it's very useful to tap in, and it's a very large network right now. So I think that network will help to connect to other initiatives.
Well, we are out of time, guys. Thank you very much for sharing this amazing panel. Really, I'm really happy, and thanks for sharing all their insights. I hope that we can have more sessions like this, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan, Jose, and Omar. It was a pleasure for me. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Bye bye.